you absolutely have to believe in the Americans' right to protest.
Hello, free citizens. This is John Strand bringing you Frontline Flash on location here at Clay Clark's ReAwaken America in Nashville, Tennessee. Joining me now is Micki Witthoeft, mother of fallen patriot Ashley Babbitt.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
Micki, thank you so much for taking a moment. And I just wanted to share with the audience, we talk about the lies and the disinformation and the fraud and the corruption. There's a lot going on there, but people tend to miss the pain. I think they miss the human element of lives that are destroyed by these lies. Obviously, Ashley Babbitt was murdered. That was a clear case, but many people have had their lives touched and destroyed. Can you just speak to that and what people are going through and what January 6th means to American citizens?
Well, people that think we should get over January 6th don't really know what happened that day. You know, not only was my daughter, Ashley Babbitt, murdered, Roseanne Boylan was murdered, right. Kevin Greason died at the hands of the police that day, Benjamin Phillips died at the hands of the police that day. There have been families torn apart. We have American citizens sitting in jail without their, being denied their constitutional rights. Some of them 700 days with no bond hearing. We're keeping these men in pretrial detention for over 2 years, which is not an American practice, and it has broken up so many families and divided this country in a way that shouldn't happen. The courtrooms are actually so biased that the actual day of on the calendar is being tried, not the man or the woman for what they did that day. And when they go into these federal courthouses and courtrooms, they're just automatically assumed that they were guilty because they were there that day. My daughter served 4 tours of duty in the Middle East in her young adult life, came home to be shot down by her own government. She was denied rendering of honors simply for being at the Capitol that day. So that very much demonstrates the fact that they are charging people for the day and not their actions that day.
And such hateful conduct that they mistreat veterans and just Americans based on their political hatred. I noticed that, and it's really a shame. I just wanted people to get a feel for the real pain and devastation that's being caused and how people are being demonized and ostracized and painted as subhuman. Yeah. So it's almost like they're allowed to treat people that poorly because they're less than acceptable in society.
Yes, and the judges will tell you you're less than a patriot for being there that day. But Americans need to understand that there were 2 million people that showed up at the Capitol that day. 2 million people to redress their grievances. So we might want to look into why 2 million people were there that day. And for every person that was there were 10 of us home on the couch. I wasn't there, but I feel like I should have been. And we're these men and women are being persecuted in a real way. Like we said, sitting in the D.C. jail, they're being beaten by guards. They're not being given adequate nutrition. They're not being. They have no religion. Well, the guys in D.C. just got visitation after 2 years of no video visitation, no in-person visitation, no contact with their family at all. Finally had their first visitation last Friday. So thank you, Troy Nels, for making that happen. We still have a long way to go, though, because, like I said, these men have been in jail for 2 years now, and for nonviolent crimes, sitting in jail for nonviolent crimes, pre-trial detention for 2 years, and that's not how we do things in this country, unless you're a January 6th defendant, and then they make up rules as they go along just for us. Right.
It's a total double standard, which is so anti-American. It's a total loss of equal protection under the law, and it's really become a gross human rights violation. Even apart from the controversy over what happened that day and who committed a crime or who didn't. There were many people there who clearly didn't commit crimes.
Right, and even if you don't believe in what the people were there protesting, you absolutely have to believe in the Americans' right to protest. American citizens were beaten, murdered, and unjustly jailed that day, and they still sit in jail. So I think American citizens should be more outraged about that. I think that the way the Capitol Police are allowed to operate, because the Capitol Police are not even an actual police force subject to external review. They're an arm of Congress. They answer to Congress. Michael Byrd, the man that murdered my daughter, had prior excessive use of force issues. He left his loaded weapon in a public restroom. So people say, Ashley shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been there. Michael Byrd should not have been there to be able to murder my child.
Yeah, the double standard is very dangerous. And ladies and gentlemen, we really do need to continue rallying around J6 defendants and victims and families and demanding answers, demanding accountability, demanding a return to the American equal protection rule of law.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, the real story of right now continues, and it is coming soon on the next Frontline Flash.